I recently finished the Dreamblood Duology by N.K. Jemisin, with book 1 being The Killing Moon and second book being The Shadowed Sun. And first off, just these covers, in my opinions, are some of my favorite that I have. So these books are a fantasy with a culture based loosely in ancient Egypt, with such a unique and such an original culture and magic system that I couldn't help but to be sucked in and just immersed in these entire stories. These books take place mostly in the city of Guara, where peace is the main law and the main religion. Their religion and their laws are set up entirely to root out corruption. Anything that is deemed violent or unpeaceful in their culture is frowned upon, and the whole city is just very mellow and very mild because of it. And the religion and magic systems in these stories has everything to do with dreams. The religious institution called the Hedoa, they gather in those who have the dreaming ability, and they bring them in and they teach them from a very young age. Those with the dreaming ability can walk inside other people's dreams, and depending on what they're trained to do and what their gift level is, they can do much more than that. There are a couple of different sects in the Hedoa, one of which is called the Gatherers and another is the Sharers. The Gatherers are trained from a very young age to be elite warriors and masters of stealth. They go out at night, and what they do is they gather those that they deem corrupt. And by gathering, they gather their dream blood, and that ends the person's life. They are tasked with keeping the peace and rooting out the corrupt in the city, and they take this very, very seriously. In the whole religion, there's really only about 3 or 4 of them at a time, but they are considered to be of the most dangerous people in the entire city. After they have gathered the dream blood, they bring it back and they give it to the sharers. And the sharers, what they do is they can use their ability and these things that they gather from people's dreams to heal people. They're mostly trained in the art of healing, and a lot of people throughout the city, they come and they pay tithes to the Hedoa, where they come to the compound and they sleep, and the sharers can gather up the dream bile and the different things from their dreams to be able to share and to heal those people of the city. Now, book 1, The Killing Moon, follows the gatherers, specifically one named Ihiru and his young apprentice. Ihiru is the brother to the prince, the current ruler of the city, and when he finds out that he is completely and utterly corrupt and is trying to start a war with the southern nations, when Ihiru is sent to gather an ambassador from a southern city, he learns that there is a conspiracy going on in the city and that there is corruption far and wide in their peaceful city. And it ends up falling on him and his apprentice to root out this corruption, to stop the conspiracy, and to even prevent war. This is very much a political novel, trying to figure out where the corruption is, who's corrupt, and what all of the different plots and dealings are. Even though it is mostly political, there is still a very good amount of action in these books that kept me on the edge of my seat the entire time. The Shadowed Sun, Book 2, takes place about 10 years after the events of The Killing Moon, and it deals mostly with the political situation that has come after the resolution of Book 1. This book has some returning characters from Book 1 and also introduces a new main character, someone from the Sharer sect of the Hedoa. You spend a lot of time with the side that is trained as a healer instead of a killer, and it was really great to learn more about the Hedoa and the religion and the magic systems in this world. There's not a whole lot that can be said about the plot of this book without giving away the resolution to Book 1, but I can tell you that there is a nightmare that is ravaging through the city that is making people fall into an eternal sleep, and then they eventually die. And they have to discover the root and the cause of this to stop it before it consumes the entire city. I was just entirely and completely immersed in this world. I don't know what it is about her writing, but I felt so engrossed in the culture and in the world and the writing and the magic system, I just could not put these books down. It was a little bit interesting to read the 2 books with 2 different main characters and that take place 10 years apart, but with the way that the story was and how it worked out, it fits together in one all-encompassing story, and I felt like it worked out perfectly. In these books, there's so much character development in the things that these people have to do in order to protect the city that they love. They have to make questionable decisions, they have to spend time with people that they normally wouldn't want to be with, all in the name of peace and freedom. I wouldn't characterize this series as kind of just your light, fun fantasy. It gets very dark, it gets very real and very gritty with the things that happen in these books and the people that you have to deal with. You do spend some time with some pretty dark people, considering that the themes of this series is corruption and whether or not it's the action or the intent that really truly defines whether or not you are corrupt. In my opinion, this is one of the best fantasy series that I've read in a long time, and Jemisin is fast becoming one of my favorite authors, and if you want a short, just good fantasy series, I would highly recommend this.